If a woman
I
is
agree
going
with
out to a
that.
bar or a nightclub and she's planning on getting laid, she don't need to be there for very long, right?
Right.
She'll
No,
find
I
the guy.
agree
Maybe
with
she
what
wants to have a
you're
little fun, then she picks the guy and she's gone, right? But most women, most of the time, are not planning on it.
Literally, my friends and I
It's
would
just all
just
girls.
go and dance.
Right.
We used to go and dance and then go home.
Yeah, that's what I
Right.
tell guys. I'm like, look, the girls are just here to dance. They're not. You think they're here to get laid? They're not. But you're gonna sidetrack their plan, and you're gonna come in there like a smooth criminal and get them off of their plan.
Beyond the perfect we discover through our flaws, we complete each other. Better than perfect we stay. Through every fault we find our way.
All right, welcome to the Better Than Perfect podcast, where every week we show you how two people helping each other become better equals one better than perfect relationship.
I don't know if that was fully it, but it was
I think it's like I think that there was too much betters in there. I think
I'm
it's
just
like two
glad that
people
you didn't ask me to do
helping,
it again.
two people helping each other. Maybe that's what it was. Equals one better than, I don't know. We have to go and look at the notes, but it's close enough. So it doesn't. It's just the
sounded
point is to
good.
get the point across.
There you go.
Pretend like you know what you're talking about. So there you go.
Exactly.
So
All right. So for this week, the topic is girls' night out and guys' night out.
okay.
So I forget how we typically. Sometimes
You
I
wanted-
start, and sometimes you start. So
Yeah.
I think you should start.
Oh, okay. I think okay. Well, let's see. So, I mean, we talked about this a little bit in the one episode where we talked about the boundaries or the rules, or it depends on whatever way you want to phrase it, depending on how sensitive you are. So it's okay to be sensitive, but however you like it. So, one of them was obviously the girls night out, guys not out thing, right? And so, obviously, I'm against that. And I wasn't always.
You look so happy about it. You're like, I'm against that.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is that the big defense for it, we could start with that because that's exactly where people are going, is that, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Right. Well,
But
I was going to say why you just said you were okay with it before. So I was going to ask you why you were and why it's different now.
Well, I mean, there's two reasons why. Okay. So one, I was okay with it before. First, because I wasn't going to do anything. So I didn't think of anything wrong. Right. And then second, because I was going to do something.
Wait, what? You just said first
So
because
be
I
okay-
wasn't. And
First,
then
I
now
wasn't
because
okay
I was.
with it because I wasn't going to do anything. And second, I was okay with it because I was going to do something. So either way, you're going to be okay with it, right? So that's also the problem. But we have another episode where I talk about that, which was mistakes, right? So, but yeah, I mean that's why I was okay with it before. But that's the defense, right? The defense is I wasn't going to do anything, right?
Right.
And
Which I feel like is most people's
Right.
defense.
And whether you're planning on doing anything or not, and then also, I mean, especially when alcohol's involved, you might not. I mean, some people plan, some people don't. But when things happen, most people didn't plan, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, oops," right? And so you can't say I wasn't planning on doing anything, or I wasn't going to do anything, or I would never do anything, and then later go, "Oops." That's why "oops" is in the dictionary, is because it's a mistake that you didn't plan on making, right? So you can't ever use that argument to say, "Oh, that's." So the real answer, I would say, is that it's more important. The appearance of wrongdoing is what's more important than the actual wrongdoing, because if you go about and you have the appearance of wrongdoing, or you put yourself into a place where you could oops, then when you oops, it's much more grievous because you've now made a conscious choice to put yourself in the situation. Just like I was just reading the Nicomachean Ethics, the Aristotle's book, and he was talking about how they judge. It goes into ethics basically. So and they're saying that he was saying that if someone drinks and then they commit a crime, then the penalty is twice. And the reason for that is because you've made a choice to put yourself into a situation and then a bad thing happened. And so it's even more conscious, even though
made a
you're
choice
right.
to inebriate yourself
Exactly.
and then do it. Well, so I was going to say, you said it's more about the oops, but
Right.
I would say it's more about the things you can't control, because I do understand the defense of, well, I'm not going to do anything. And I do believe most people who say that.
Yeah, of course, most people.
But it's the things outside of your control.
Right.
Like we were kind of talking about this a little bit before the podcast officially started, but it's like the fact that guys may approach you as a woman or like you might get too drunk and like go off with somebody or talk to somebody for too long and they might think you're interested and then they might put you. Yeah.
Like those things happen.
So I don't think it's necessarily as much as the oops. I know you do because of some situations that you've been in, but I think it's more so when you get in like a serious relationship, you realize it's not the oops, because like if I went out for some crazy reason, I went out for a girls' night, right?
Yeah, I know.
There is no oops.
Right.
Like there's absolutely no oops.
Right.
Like I don't care. Well, I don't drink, but even if I did, there would be no oops because I don't care what anybody has to say. You're never too drunk to make a mistake to that level.
Well,
period.
You no, you are too drunk to, and that's the reason why you have to not drink in those situations.
I have never been so drunk that I would make that decision. Like I've been pretty drunk back in my day when I drank.
Yeah.
And I still knew what I was doing. Like, yes, I'm more likely to make like careless things. But I would never, no matter how drunk I was, like cheat on somebody or like let it go to that level. But what the thing is here for me is that if I went out right now, I don't know who would approach me.
Right.
People would think that I'm available because you're not there or whatever. And like, even with the wedding ring, that does not deter men. And it doesn't deter women either, supposedly, according to you.
It actually enhances the...
well, we're not even going to get into that part yet, I guess. But...
Well, because women are mostly attracted to men that other women are attracted to. That's the biggest attraction.
Well, yeah, that is not always, but
demand.
That is a thing.
The man that's the most in demand.
A woman wants to feel like her man's desirable and wanted. But so what I'm saying is, for me, it's not this oops thing. No. It is the other outlying factors that most people don't even realize because they are like, well, I'm not going to do anything. So that's all they're focused on. They're like, I know I'm not.
Right.
But what they don't realize is all of the things that are happening behind the scenes. Right. Because even when you walk into like a restaurant, there could be people checking you out. But at least if you're at the restaurant with your husband or something, and I'm not saying you can't go on like a girl's dinner or things like that, but even in that situation, someone could approach you, but it's less likely as if you're at a bar or a club where people are trying to mingle and hook up with each other and take each other home.
And how does it look? And that's the thing. It's like, that's why the appearance is so much of an issue. I was actually listening to a long time ago, but I thought this was pretty brilliant. I think it was like Billy Graham or something, very famous pastor, right? And he was talking about how like he's never ever allows himself to be alone in a room with a woman. Now, obviously, I mean, the guy was older too at the time, and he was like, but he just made that his rule because he never wants anyone to ever accuse him. Right? There always has to be witnesses, and he just doesn't want any kind of appearance. Like he's not going to do something wrong. He knows it, but he doesn't want any kind of appearance of the wrongdoing. And it's also for his reputation, which also it's for your reputation as a woman, as a man, right? If you're going out on girls' nights out, you're out there at a bar, at a nightclub, even if you're not doing anything, it is hurting your reputation, which also hurts my reputation as a man because one of my friends sees, oh, hey, I saw your wife out there at a bar. Looks like she was drinking a lot or, whatever, having a good time. Okay, like that reflects poorly on me, right? Like now all these people think they know I know you, right? But they see you out there, they don't know you. That they're just women are women, right? It's like so it's a poor reflection. It's the same thing, but we could flip the tables. And if I'm out there drinking at a bar with the guys, and then hey, some of my guys' friends are hitting on girls or whatever, or hell, one of them brings a girl over to the table, I got nothing to do with that, right? Because I'm loyal. I'm not interested.
But she might try to talk to you now because she likes you better than the friend that brought her over.
Even if I shut her down, someone else sitting over at another table looks over at that, sees me. Right. They're like, oh, that's the guy from the Better Than. That's the guy that kissed the girl,
If they say you're the guy from the Better Than Perfect podcast, they better know you got a wife.
They might say bulldog mindset, you know what I'm saying? But then how bad does that look on you? Even if I haven't done anything, even if I've properly shut her down, done all the things, but because I put myself in the situation, right? People are going to look down on you because you're my wife. You know what I mean?
Well-
Like I would be disrespecting you by putting myself, having any kind of appearance of wrongdoing.
I
in that
agree.
case.
And
So-
what you mentioned earlier about the story about the guy who wouldn't even be around a woman like by himself.
Right.
Some people, I don't know, they might interpret that in like some weird way, but to me, that is like the ultimate level of respecting the person that you're with. And that's what it really is. Like, if you don't realize, if you think it's like controlling
Right.
to not go and put yourself in a situation like going out where like single people do stuff and single people try to hook up with other single people and things like that, then you're missing the whole point because it's the respect for your partner.
Right.
And like we mentioned in another episode as well too, like why do you need those things anymore, right? Like
Exactly, yeah.
there was a moment in our relationship where, you know, you were here and I was in Florida and we were kind of like going through something.
Yeah.
And I went out with some of my friends because she had just gotten engaged.
Yeah.
And I went to bars that I had gone to and had a great time. And like, you know, when I was single.
Right, yeah,
And
sure.
it just didn't feel even the same. So my thing with a lot of the like going out when you're in a serious relationship or married is like, what are you lacking
Right. You shouldn't
from
feel
your
like-
relationship
Right.
where you want to go and do what you did when you were single? Because
Right.
the whole time I was there, it was not the same. Like
Right.
even like dancing with my friends, like just being exposed to like other people who could approach me, it just felt wrong because
Right.
we were still like together,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, like going through our own stuff. And so I guess that's where I have a hard time like understanding where women come from for like still wanting that. And don't get me wrong, like I go and hang out with my girlfriends from like Madhouse. We do like brunches or
Yeah.
well, not with bottomless
No,
mimosas.
not the
but you
kind
know,
of
like
brunches, but
or
yeah.
like you
Yeah,
know,
harmless
a
brunch.
lunch
Yeah,
date or
exactly. Yeah,
we'll
or
go
like
do
you-
an activity like
Right.
we did reef making class, you know. So
or
I'm
you go
not
over
saying
to, you know, watch a movie or something like a
right.
Yeah. That
like
kind
you
of,
do like little
Yeah.
house parties, which
Right.
women do that more so than guys.
Yeah.
They'll have like cute little party get-togethers at their house, but
yeah.
you know. So I'm not saying, and I don't want anyone to think that like I'm saying that you get in a relationship, you can't hang out with your
Right.
girlfriends.
I think that's what a lot of
It's
people
just,
think.
and
yeah.
that's why we said like girls' night out, guys' night out, because
Night.
normally that entails like going to a club or a bar or
Right.
some place like that. Not like, you know, you can say girls' night and that can be like in, you know, have your girls over and watch movies and, you know, paint each other's fingernails and like share all your secrets. But girls' night out is usually
That's what, yeah, exactly.
going to the bars
and part
stuff.
of it's like just like you said, it's like, what, you know, if you're not into that anymore, why, if you're a vegan, why are you hanging around a sausage factory? You could be like, yeah, I just like to hang around sausage factories, and okay, sure, but why don't you just go and hang out at the vegan cafe instead of the sausage factory? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you go out to the sausage factory, people are going to assume you're there for a sausage, right? Like, you know, not for a vegan salad. Okay, so that's all I'm saying is like,
your like analogies every week.
well,
I'm
it's a
like,
good one. I mean, it's, you know, it works on multiple levels. That's why.
I see what you did there.
But the thing is, but that's the truth. You know what I mean? And so that's why it just doesn't make sense. Like, because, you know, the defense of, oh, I just want to go and dance, go to Madhouse dance. You know? So
Right.
not official sponsor, but
To
you know.
kind of segue-
But you can do that in other places. You don't have to go out and go to one of
and
those
be in
places.
that position. Yeah, I want to segue into kind of what we were talking about though before a little bit, where because we were talking about guys going out and girls going out,
and the difference.
I feel like as a woman.
Okay.
And as a woman who like knows she wouldn't do anything if she went out, just like we had that conversation just now.
Right.
I do feel like it is easier for a woman to go out in that situation and not get herself into trouble. I'm not saying that never happens.
No, it's easier for sure. Yeah. I
But
agree.
because men are visual creatures. And it's very hard to believe that guys can go to a guy's night out at a bar and not be sitting there with his bros and oogling women.
Okay. That's correct. But let me give you two pieces on this. Okay. So the first one is this, is that, look, guy goes out to a bar. He doesn't have women coming up to him, throwing themselves at him, want to have sex with him. Hey, let's leave the bar right now and have sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's staring. He's
woman,
trying to make eye contact.
Okay. That's true. Like the guy might be more causing the trouble. But most guys, you could let them do whatever they want to do, and they're not going to come back with anything. You know what I mean? I speak about this from coaching a lot of guys, and one guy in particular got the hall pass, and he couldn't do anything with the hall pass. And then his wife left him because she was like, "This guy's pathetic." Sad, but I'm just saying that
Well,
most
she
guys
should have left him anyway,
I mean,
whether he succeeded or not.
I'm with you. I agree, but I'm just saying it's like so. And most guys that are listening to this, that's exactly what they're going to be like. You know how hard it is as a guy to even pick up a girl? It's like, but
I do.
But guys are throwing themselves at
But that's
girl.
what I'm saying.
So that's why when a girl goes out,
I know how hard
right,
it is
right,
because you've talked about it,
right.
and I understand
and you've seen
that.
We went and coached the guy.
That's
right?
why I know how hard men will work to get it.
Right,
And that's why I'm
exactly.
saying
Right.
that even if you are in a relationship or something,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're going to like pursue a woman,
Right.
but men are visual creatures and you will look at women.
Right. But
Like
women
your
know,
friends are
right.
there too. If you're there with single guys, they're gonna be like, look at that hot girl.
Yeah,
What
but
are you gonna be like? No, I'm not going to.
As a woman, you know if your guy's a danger risk or not. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, to
you
be
know-
honest,
you know what I mean? Like he either is or he isn't, right? It's like,
but
you know,
I feel like
yeah.
a lot of women do get surprised though sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And
That
I
is
think
true.
that
'Cause
it's more
sometimes-
so that
right.
men are trying to prove something
Right.
in those instances when like a woman trusts her man
Mm-hmm.
and then she's like, I didn't think that this would happen. He's
Yeah.
trying to prove something.
Yeah, it's better not to like be like, okay, well, you know, my dog never bites, so I'll let it go off.
Right,
the
exactly.
leash,
Like
because
it's still you
it's
wouldn't
gonna
do
come
it.
back. It's gonna bite someone sometime. Like it's it's like
Yeah, or
you know,
chase after a squirrel or
right.
something.
So, but my point is that women go out. Literally, guys are throwing themselves at them. You know, or like, I will have sex with you right now, right? So, but a guy goes out. That it's not the same thing. However, that doesn't excuse it. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I still say no girls night out, no guys night out. I'm just saying that it is a little bit of a different situation.
Well, and men don't
there.
take no for an answer. And you've even coached men not to
Well,
take no for an answer. So if you're
all right.
out as a woman and you're like, no thanks, I'm
exactly.
with somebody, they'll
Right.
be like,
Well, here's the other
just
thing.
because there's a goalie
Right.
doesn't mean you can't score.
Well, and here's the other thing, though. See, and usually it does involve alcohol, but it doesn't necessarily have to. But definitely, if it involves alcohol, believe me, I've been coaching guys for a long time. I've been coaching guys in Vegas. Okay, I've been out there. Most women do not plan on anything happening. They don't.
No.
It's true. I mean, look, if a woman
I
is
agree
going
with
out to a
that.
bar or a nightclub and she's planning on getting laid, she doesn't need to be there for very long, right?
Right.
She'll
No,
find
I
the guy.
agree
Maybe
with
she
what
wants to
you're
have a little
saying.
fun. Then she picks the guy and she's gone. Right. But most women, most of the time, are not planning on it. And that is the exact strategy that I tell guys when they go out. I'm like, look, you think that women are at this bar because they want to get laid? Wrong. They're at this bar because they want male attention. They want you to Google her. They want to dance with their friends. They want to have a good time. They're not
Right.
planning on getting. You're here to get laid. That's why
Right.
there's 5 guys to 1 woman here, right? However, here's how you get through. They're not expecting it. That's not what they came here for. But you sweep them off their feet. You seduce them, and then they're like, oh, it just happened. It just everything just
you
happened.
know-
Like you're the mastermind planning all these things, and in her mind, she's like, this is so romantic. It just
You know
happened.
why?
It just happened.
You
right?
know why you're able to do that?
Hmm.
And okay, before I go on here,
Okay.
every single person is responsible for their own actions.
For sure.
I am not
100%.
saying
Yeah.
that. I am not saying any of that.
Right.
However,
Right.
if you are able to do that to a woman,
Right.
her man is not fulfilling
That's right.
her needs.
But is that-
because no woman
Right.
is going to risk her life with a man that's treating her right, doing everything for her,
Right.
loving
Yeah.
her, making her feel amazing
Right.
for some Joe Schmo at a bar who just knows some pickup lines.
But what percentage of women you think that is?
A lot, because there's not a lot of men
That's-
like you,
hold
as
on.
we've seen from our TikTok.
Which is a lot? Which side is the lot? Just to make it clear.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of women who aren't with partners that they really
Right.
are invested in.
So a majority of the time, when women are out and they don't plan on doing anything, they say they would never do anything, they're still susceptible to the charming guy, especially with alcohol. Right situation, right guy, right circumstances. He's smooth. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I'm in his room. Like that.
But I also
like again,
think-
she's still responsible. But
Right.
I'm just saying that when women have in their head, they're like, girls' night out is okay because I'm not going to do anything. I'm in control of myself. I wouldn't do it. Look, the women that are in a completely secure relationship where all their needs are being met, I do believe them. Okay. With alcohol, though, it depends on the person. Then it starts to even become a little. But I think I would still give them the thumbs up. Okay. But 90% of women, they cannot say that all their needs are being fulfilled in their relationship and they're perfectly happy.
If their man stepped up and became the type of man that she's looking for, then she would. And like that would happen less. And I understand. And then she
wouldn't want to go on the girls' night out.
It is still
anyway,
her.
Right?
Yes, exactly. And it's still her choice. And I'm not saying before the guys come for my neck and be like, you're just saying women can never do anything wrong. What I'm saying is, like, also in this situation, guys, if you feel like your woman doesn't value you, what are you doing? Then you should be leaving or whatever. Or either step up and be the man or
you got two choices.
Find somebody who appreciates you. Yeah. But what I'm just saying is that, like, you're right. It's never planned for women, but it is usually the women who are unhappy or unfulfilled. I mean, not to like go back, but that's where you were looking for things too, because of the same reason. Not that it's right. It's never right.
No, it's not right, but that's correct though.
That is what makes somebody open to those things.
Women go out, girls' night out, but their primary objective, get oogled by guys.
Get what? Oogled?
Get attention from male attention. That's what let's just not say girl. When women go out, they want attention from guys. Well, when guys go out, they want to oogle women, right? It's exactly the same, right? It's like it's a different thing, but it's exactly the same. That's what I'm saying is that when women go out, like the reason why so many women put up the defense for the girls' night out, because there's plenty of guys that put up defense for the guys' night out, but is because they know that when they're going out, maybe they're not going to do anything, but they like the attention. That's why they get dressed up. That's why they get out there.
Single girls, 1,000%.
Right. But even some girls in a relationship.
Not always.
Not always, but.
Again, with the secure women in their relationship, genuinely, I don't think that's the case, to be honest.
Well, again, we're talking a small percentage. But
I know. But women who aren't feeling oogled by their husband, they're going to want to try to go get it somewhere else. Is that right? No.
Right. It's not.
But it all stems from the stability of their relationship.
Right.
Honestly. And that's why we're trying to sit here and say
don't do these things.
These girls' night out, guys' night out are unnecessary if you're in a happy relationship. And if you're not in a happy relationship, they're still not necessary. It means break up and be single and do whatever you want, go wherever you want.
Yeah.
And then get in a good relationship where those things aren't even appealing to you anymore.
Or stay home and work on your relationship. Like that's have a couple's night. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's honestly.
And if you like to drink, like we don't drink, but if you like to drink at home. Right. Have some make cocktails at home, turn on some music. Like you can have that experience or go to a nice dinner, come back home and have some drinks and whatever. And now you're already home. You're closer to, the room if that's where it ends up going. But
or you can go to a dance studio, like a Heels dance studio.
Well, that's because even when I was single, literally my friends and I would just go and dance.
Right. It's not going to be
like
guys
we were single, and if a guy came up and he was cute, we'd be like, okay, cool. But literally, we used to go and dance and then go home.
Yeah.
Because like that's all we knew how to do it. There wasn't a madhouse over there. We would have went there.
And I believe you. But like I said, in those situations, that's what I tell guys. I'm like, look, the girls are just here to dance. They're not, you think they're here to get laid. They're not. But you're gonna sidetrack their plan and you're gonna come in there like a smooth criminal and get them off of their plan. That's the thing. So that's why a guy that knows what he's doing is going to be trying to do that. And so that's what I'm saying is it's just better to avoid the situation just in general.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I mean, okay, what does a guy's night out look like for a married guy? Because from my perspective, like I said earlier, what would happen if I went out? Like there's nothing happening. I'm not even like focused on anybody else.
Like what is normally like a guy's night out look like for a married guy?
But I'm saying, because we've talked about the women, how like they're not in a happy relationship. This is probably how girls' night out goes. But if you are, then this is how it goes. So like, what about the guy side?
I hate to break it to you, but guys' night out is not very exciting at all, honestly. Like
then
for
why
the most
do they
part.
do it?
Because literally they're just trying to get away from their nagging wife. Like that's what it is. Okay, they just want to drink some beers with the bros. Okay, and
oogle women.
Maybe oogle some girls. That's what like I'm saying. I'm just saying it's like, but they're not. Most guys going on guys' night out, they're not going to a nightclub. that's kind of weird
Some
for
of
guys.
them go to strip clubs.
Okay, like secretly, maybe they go to a strip club, but even
Secretly is not okay either.
even then, that's not really a guy's night out. It's like, let's go to the strip club, get like a bunch of married guys. Not likely. Like it's just that's not likely the case, right? Now, bachelor party, different, right? So, but I would say guys' night out is just going to a bar and having drinks with buddies and talking like you're a big shot man, but knowing that you're not.
Well, but like we talked about, what if your guy friend brings a girl over and then now you're like, what if she then hits on you? I mean, it's still the same situation. Like, yes, women don't approach men, but it's still that situation where you can still appear available. And even if they know you're not available, they could still pursue you and put you in a weird situation. And then what if one of my friends is out, was like, hey, your husband was talking to this blonde girl the other night. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly. No, So it's just not a good idea. Not a good plan.
Yeah, there's plenty of other things. And even for guys, like there's plenty of other things that guys can do to still hang out with their friends.
Yeah.
That is
of
not.
Course. Go hiking. I go hiking, go for a run, go to the gym, right? I only go. I mean, no, sometimes I've gone out for like lunch or coffee or something, and meet up with someone and, something like that.
Yeah. I just want
catch up.
Us to stress that it's not like don't have friends.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's just don't be doing inappropriate things in inappropriate places that single people do.
Right.
That's
well,
all.
And
right?
you shouldn't want to.
And
if
why?
you do,
right,
then you should really reflect on your relationship.
Right. Yeah, that's what I said. If you're a vegan, why are you hanging around the sausage factory? You can tell me all day long that you don't like sausage and you're not here to eat the sausage. But hey, why then? Then why like hold to this choice, right? Why not be like, okay, then I'll just go over here instead.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Is like, if you're like, no, we have to go to the nightclub. Why? Like, why not go somewhere else? You know what I mean? Or like, or girls trip too is also, or guys trip, same thing. It's like, we're going to Cancun.
Right.
Oh, because you're going to go to the beach? Because, you got to go to Cancun to go to the beach? Come on.
Well, it's a girls' trip is essentially like the same as a bachelorette party. And to be honest, you're going to say different because you're talking about Vegas, which if any bachelorette is going to Vegas or bachelor party is going to Vegas, questionable, period, to me.
Well, people make exceptions for,
Yeah, that's also weird to me.
Right.
Like the whole like bachelorette being like the last time you're single. You're not single. You've been in a committed relationship. You're about to get married.
The last time you can pretend like you're single, let's say, but I don't know.
You haven't been pretending you're single since you've been in a relationship. So why? That's my argument is, why is this the last time you're pretending to be single when you haven't been pretending to be single since you got official with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and then now you have this one time, and then now you're gonna go get married.
Yeah. So we can talk about that then. Bachelorette, bachelor party.
Okay, look,
it's accepted by most people.
I went to my brother's fiance's bachelorette party, and it was wholesome. And I know that there are wholesome bachelorette parties,
but it wasn't really like. Well, okay, so you didn't go to a party.
We didn't go to like Vegas. We went to the beach.
And then also you didn't go out. You didn't go to clubs. Didn't go anywhere. Now, some of the girls did, but you...
they went to like a bar that was right next to our house. But you didn't. That was for like a few hours too. Like it was not even that level. But
you didn't do any of it.
No. It was a very actual beach trip, like a vacation. And a lot of people do similar things like that, but a lot of people also, like you said, go all out and act single and, go to these bars and stuff. But it's still like,
but that was also an exception.
Bachelorette too.
Planned ahead of time, and also, but in the future, neither of us would go to a bachelorette or a bachelor party. Right. Yeah. So,
if you had a brother or something, it'd be like, and it was like the same, along the same guidelines, then I would let you do it. And she's like a sister to me, so that's why it was the thing. Because if it was anybody else, I'd be like, no, like I don't want to put myself in that situation. But she is like a sister to me when she's about to be a sister. So, and it was, it was her style, which is very much like chill and, hang out. But a lot of bachelorette parties can be more wild. Some of them are though, like how she had, but some of them get crazy. And if you think about it, you're wearing like all white. You want people to know that it's your bachelorette. You're like, want people to buy you drinks. And
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there are tons of people who are gonna be like, you just don't trust your partner. But again, it goes back to the same thing. It's like, why do you need all this attention if you're getting attention from your partner and affection?
I've seen a lot of bachelorette parties.
Well, again, you went to Vegas, which, like I said, Vegas.
That's where a lot of bachelorette parties are.
Well, Vegas, if it's bachelor or bachelorette,
Right.
that's suspicious to me. And I'd be like, why do you want to do that? We need to have a long conversation.
That's where most people go.
Like if before we got married and you were like, I want to have a bachelor party in Vegas, I'd be like, we might need to reevaluate this situation.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
No, I know,
like,
I agree.
It's just
Because why? You know, it seems so, and I guess it's, you know, up to us to question these long held beliefs because everyone, you know, majority of people are like, that's fine, right?
Right.
But why is it fine? Like,
Well,
it's not really fine if you think about it, right?
Why don't people adapt what we were actually thinking of doing at one time, but we just had too much stuff going on, is like inviting some couples along and having like a couple trip.
Right.
Where it's like joined together, right?
Yeah.
That makes way more sense to me.
Yeah.
Or even taking like, instead of doing a bachelorette, why don't you and your partner go on like a trip, just you two, kind of like a pre-honeymoon.
Right.
You could save the money that you're doing for a bachelorette to do that. And you can still have like a bridal shower or whatever, you know, to have your girls there that are in your bridal party and stuff. You could still have a separate like get together.
Yeah.
But I don't understand these like wild bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
Bachelor parties are even scarier because I don't know any that are very chill.
Well,
they normally all involve a stripper.
But the thing with
that's a whole nother thing.
I've been to plenty of bachelor parties as well, and it's like like guys at bachelor parties always like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna get some girls, we're gonna do. Nothing ever happens. Like
but they're trying.
They're trying. But man, it's like the see with the bachelor party, like the level of like the expectation of it is up here, but the actual reality is down here.
But then they just end up buying somebody to give them what they want, which is a stripper.
It's downplayed to here, but it's actually a little bit higher than that.
Well,
so
I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Because if a woman wants to go wild, she can. A guy wants to go wild. That doesn't mean that he can.
Yeah, but he's going to try really hard. Trying has the same intent as doing it.
Look, I believe you. I agree.
So, then plus, if guy tries so hard, what is he going to do? Just pay for a stripper. Just pay for some girl to give him attention. Right. And so, again, they're just all really bad.
It's just, if you're doing those things, you have to question.
I had a friend one time, too. Her boyfriend went on a bachelor party. Uh-huh. And when he got back not that long ago, she found out he was on Tinder.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, we were just all doing it. And she still like, she didn't break up with him or anything. And I was just like, what?
Right. Well, yeah. And part of it is maybe, maybe she knows that it wasn't going to happen anyway for him anyway. But I know, but it's still wrong. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's still wrong. It's like, but the reality, like a lot of women know their man. I don't know any
woman who's like, my man is so undesirable. He can be on Tinder. I don't care. I don't know anyone who thinks like that.
No, not I don't care. Like but
or that it's not that big of a deal.
They're not too worried about it.
It's still the intent behind it.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree with the intent for sure. So, but the other thing too, then, because we talked about the bachelor and bachelorette parties, is the trips. The girls' trips,
so I was going to say the new thing to do, for like 2024 is being like, this is out and this is in. So we're going to say bachelorette and bachelor parties out and joint couple bachelorette trips are in.
Right. We need a name for it.
You'll have to come back to me on that.
Yeah.
We'll have to think of it. But, out, that's out.
Yeah.
We're over.
It's so weird.
We're actually liking our partners in 2024. Okay. Right. We want to be around them.
It is kind of a weird thing that has actually existed for so long and that so many people are just acceptable of not only of having one, but also participating in one. Right.
Right. Well, I think that's kind of like one of the last things that are like filtering out, because look at like weddings, like with our wedding, we didn't do like the garter toss because that's just weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like sitting there while your new husband like takes off a garter with his teeth in front of your like whole family and then throws it to somebody. That's just weird. And like my wedding planner was like, like a lot of people don't do some of the like really traditional stuff like that anymore. why don't we do that with bachelorette parties?
Yeah,
Like,
no, I
or,
agree.
you know, at least make it like we said, like a couples thing,
Right.
and then have all your girls at your bridal shower or something. Like, I'm not saying like throw your friends away.
No,
but
you can
you
still
don't
have
need
some
to be
kinda-
going out like you're
Right.
single.
Right.
And if you are single, do whatever the heck you want. Like invite all your single girlfriends and go on a girls trip.
Right.
Go on a, you know, go out to the bar. If you're single, it doesn't
Sure.
matter.
Yeah. If you're single, that's fine. Yeah.
But like when you're in a very serious relationship, or even if you're in a relationship and you still want to do those things, again, you probably should check in and be like, do I even like this person
you gotta
that much?
make a decision. Like, are you going to invest your time and energy into improving the relationship?
Right.
Are you going to leave the relationship? Because you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, you're like, I want to have my cake and eat it too, right?
Right.
It's like, well, you know, I'm not getting completely fulfilled here, so I'm going to come over here and I'm not going to sleep with the guy, but I get attention from guys, or
I think
you know,
something too, because I'm like thinking about it in my head, that I think some people that are married or in serious relationships go on these trips too to like get away.
right.
And again,
Yeah.
that's like,
No, they do.
why?
Right.
Like we spend every day together
yeah.
and I'm never like, damn, I need a girls trip right about now. Like I need some estrogen around me. Like, no, like I hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
I feel fulfilled by hanging out with them and doing the girly things that we do. And I really enjoy our time together. And to be
Yeah.
honest, I would rather go on every single trip, you and I, than
Right.
like a girls trip to wherever. Like
Exactly.
I love my girlfriends, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're married, you're in a different phase of your life, or a
Yeah.
serious relationship where you're planning to get married.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is the person you're building a life with. This is the person that you live with, you go to sleep with, you have kids with. Like this is your person. And so I don't think it's very far-fetched to like put that person
Right.
in a position where you want
Well,
to do all the things with them.
I mean, it comes down to like two become one, right? That's
Right.
kind of the idea. I mean,
That's
maybe
true.
not everyone subscribes to that, but so then why does one, like you're going to split the one apart and go
Right.
do girls night out or guys night out? Doesn't make sense. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's like, or girls trip or guys trip, like doesn't make sense.
yeah.
right? Doesn't
It's
make
like,
sense.
well, you, like we talked about, you go hang out with your friends
Right.
during the time that you have, and then you can take a trip with your partner. Like it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
this crazy wild thing. Like why are you living like you're single again? If you want to be single, then be single. Like do what
yeah.
you need to do. But also at the same point, like if you want to be single and you're married, that's a time to have a talk with your partner and be like, hey, I'm missing something because this is really appealing to me.
Right.
Like I'm not saying just leave your husband or leave your
but
wife.
that's a good,
But
yeah.
you need to like sit them down and be like, hey, I've been really drawn to like wanting to go out and do things that I used to do when I was single. And maybe I'm missing something here.
Right.
Like maybe we need to spend some more time together, or we need to like spice things up, or we need to go on more dates. Like I'm not saying just drop everything if you're
Yeah.
feeling like you want to be single, but you do have to realize that that's not a normal reaction if you're in a relationship that's healthy and where you really are into it.
And you might start to feel that way because you put yourself into the situation, you know, where now, let's say, you know, you're a woman, you're getting attention from, like, you like the feeling of getting this attention. So now you're getting addicted to that feeling, which is not where you should be getting that.
Which guys get
from.
that too.
Right. Or same. Yeah. You know, as a guy, like you're getting addicted to that feeling of, you know, whatever it is. But what was I going to say? Oh, this is the part where I have to, you know, tell the guys, right, about you should be setting these standards for the relationship, right? As a man, you should be saying, look, the girls' night out, guys' night out, we don't need to do those type of things, right? Like, so, and explain it to
Yeah,
the woman
like
that you're
this,
with,
like we're explaining it.
Because again, like I said, I would say a majority, a lot of times, and guys will get hit with this when they'll try to do these things that are good for the relationship. It's a thing when guys try to protect the relationship. You're being insecure. You're being, you don't trust me. You're being controlling, right? So I just tell you guys, you have to be
Which
immune
I
to
agree.
all of that language. You have to be immune to all that language.
I agree that women will say that.
They'll say that.
But I don't think
you
they'll
can't care
say
about
it
that. Right.
for the right relationship. Because I would have
Well,
been that woman.
yeah.
If my like ex-boyfriend before you was like, you can't do this,
Right.
I'd be like, but also I was doing 50-50. So I'm like, you can't tell me what to do
Right.
if we're bringing the same thing to the table.
But there's two things, right? One is that if a woman truly values you and thinks
Right.
that you, like she should be the one, like we said in the other episode, and I've told a lot of my coaching clients, look, if you tell her like we're going to exchange phones and have passwords to each other's phones and have our locations on, she should be leaping for joy. If she's not leaping for
Right.
joy, then she thinks she can do better than you. Like she's not, you know what I mean? She's not seeing you as high enough as the man, because she should be like, damn, a lot of women want this guy. I got this guy that a lot of women want. I want to keep this guy. Like,
Well, I think women should be jumping for joy because a lot of women don't trust men
Right.
to cheat or
Right.
whatever. And
Right.
so
And he's
that's
being transparent.
him being
I
an
agree.
open book.
So it's a red flag on two sides. One, that she probably doesn't see you as high enough value, and two, that her values aren't in the right place. So that's what I'm saying. Is like, for guys, look, if you get hit with the controlling, insecure, any of that stuff, look, it's healthy to have boundaries, right? And it's healthy to set the boundaries for the relationship. And you got to be immune to all that shit. As a man, you have to be like, I don't like. Look, you can't be phased by being
You have
told that you're
to
controlling
be
or
a man
Yeah, because you got to be the
who
man.
a woman respects.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, if a woman is going to say to a guy, hey, that's controlling, or that's whatever, or you're insecure, he's got to be able to look her right in the eyes and say, I don't care. This is important to me. That's it. I'm the man. Right. If you're not that guy.
Yeah, but he has to be the man.
Well,
and
he
do you
has to be the
know
man.
how
I
many
understand,
men are the
but-
man?
Right. But that, look, a woman is going to make a choice in that moment. You stare in the eyes, you say,
Right.
I'm the man. She's either going to leave, be like, fuck you, you're not the man. Or she's going to be like, all right, I got like, you finally get, like, I finally got a guy that gets it and sees what I want, that I'm not going to tell any guy. Right. Like, I can be vulnerable and submissive to this guy because he's strong enough to actually put it out there, not asking permission. He's like, no, this is how it is.
Yeah. But
Right.
he has to be the man.
But
That's
that's
the
it.
only thing.
But he's gotta be it.
because
He's gotta be it.
I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of men who
Yeah.
aren't the man are
Right.
going to just hear this and be like, this is what you need to do. And they don't take any accountability for themselves.
No, you got to be holding up your side of it too, right? Like I said, it's not, there's no girls
and
night
like
out.
I said,
it's no guys night out
if
either.
you're not fulfilling her
Right.
in all the ways that she needs, that's why these behaviors even pop up anyway.
Right.
But another thing that I think that is very popular is that people just get together to live separate lives still.
Right.
And so I think that's also why they think going out is fine and like doing that kind of stuff, because they're just like, they didn't become one.
Right.
Right. They're
Right.
just still two separate people living under one house and like roommates basically,
Right.
or like friends. Like some couples are more friendly than even romantic, and
Right.
they've just, kind of just existed with each other. And so they go about living their own separate lives. And that's where a lot of this comes into too.
And some people, and they've rightly said, because there are books on the subject, I've read the books on the subject, obviously, but they talk about this idea of, specifically even like books like Mating in Captivity, right? So the idea behind it is that if you have intimacy, then you have a loss of sexual attraction, right? And so like it's the actual separation that creates sexual attraction, but the intimacy that creates love. And so you like you're in this balance between the two. But I believe that you're playing at a lesser level, like not the depth that you can, right? So at a surface level, yes, that's true, right? Like in just but if you go deeper than that, then you can get beyond that, where it actually starts to become not true, where
But I
the deeper
feel
the
like-
intimacy increases the attraction.
But
not
I feel like
the
there's
familiarity.
also some couples that don't have the intimacy
Mm-hmm.
and also don't have the desire or the attraction. Like,
Right.
They're so far apart now
Right.
that that's why they go to Magic Mike shows
Right.
and guys' night out, because they're like even further away.
Well, it's the familiarity is what the argument is, right? And I disagree with it. Like I said, on a surface level, I think you can have a relationship that is at that level where too much familiarity equals less attraction, right? But I think there's a deeper level of relationship that is beyond that. Because a lot of people have made the argument, they'll say, well, it's important to have your own privacy or have your own life. And again, I'm not saying that you can't have friends and things that you do apart from the other person. I do think that that's valuable, but a lot of people would say, no, you got to have your own privacy and a separate life and these things, and you just come together to be a couple. And that I think you can operate that way, and if you do, then what those books say is true.
Deep.
What those books say is true. Then you have to make sure that don't become too familiar and don't get too close. Otherwise,
That's just so weird though.
Right.
But I think
but you can
instead
operate
of
there.
it being like too familiar, I think it just becomes your new baseline without going into like, this is kind of like a whole separate thing than what we're talking about. But I think it is like just a new baseline. And like you said, you just have to you have to add more to it. You have to like make sure that it's above that. So I don't think it like goes down, but I think that like you have to think more about doing the things to show your partner that you desire them, because it's like, it's become like your baseline of how you operate.
Yeah.
But sometimes, because men do this too with like the romance, that sometimes
it becomes a baseline.
It becomes like, you're like, not doing it as much or in a new way or a, way that makes your partner feel that way.
Right.
And we're all changing in our relationship. So it's like, you have to constantly check in with each other.
Right.
And,
which I guess this is a good segue into like unless you have something else you have on the.
No, I mean, I think we covered it because I feel like
Bachelor
trips are the same as like a girl's trip or a guy's trip or things like that.
Yeah.
So unless you can think of anything, but I think
I think
hit
that's
the
it. Like I said, a lot of
head.
people are going to be resistant to this. I guess we could say that. And it's like, I get it because I was there at one point, like as you were as well. But if you really think about it, what we're saying makes sense. Even though the majority of people would disagree with it, like,
it's about respect, I think. For me, at the core, that's what it is.
Right.
Because if you hear all this and you're still like, they're crazy, then I would say you don't really respect your partner if you're fighting so hard to keep your guys' night out or your whatever,
And just about every, to add one more thing is 90% of people, like just about every person that said, dang, I made a mistake, right? Were the exact same people that said, I would never do this. So you might think you know yourself, right? But do you need to put yourself into temptation's way? You know what I mean? Like, again, yeah, you should be resistant to it. I agree. I think if you're in the relationship where all your needs are being met, then you have extra armor. However, majority of people that thought that they were untouchable find their faults when they put themselves into temptation's way. So do you want to be that like
they weren't fully anyway.
Yeah, but
maybe it's more of a guy thing because I see it more as a guy thing. You'd probably see it more as a girl thing because that's your perspective. But I see it more as like guys have a harder time because guys typically are the ones that are giving in physically and doing that kind of stuff. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about a nightclub is giving in physically. And I'm not saying women don't do it, but I'm saying that a woman is not going to throw away her relationship as often as a man. I agree. For a one night stand.
But she's getting more opportunities to do so.
I understand that, but that
so
doesn't mean
it balances out.
But she also, it's like Russian roulette though. Guys are not very good at sex.
Yeah.
So if you're going home with this guy, like you are risking that. Whereas a guy can just get whatever he wants. It's not the same scale.
But if she's only had bad sex, she's not going to know the difference. So that argument's going to be taken off the table.
She still doesn't want to add to that tally.
She doesn't know. She thinks
another bad sex.
She thinks it's good. She thinks it's good.
That's even more
besides,
sad.
Women aren't having sex with guys in order to enjoy themselves. They're having sex with guys in order to prove themselves.
Because they're not being fulfilled in their relationship, which again, that doesn't excuse cheating.
I'm just saying, like, if you look at every person who's cheated and you say, did you intend to cheat? 99% of them are going to say no. It just happened, right? Like I was there.
But
I didn't mean to.
99% of them
I
are going
drank
to have
some-
an underlying reason that drove them to
For
even being pushed to that.
But don't put yourself in this situation. Work on your relationship instead. That's all
I
I'm
understand.
saying.
Or
It's because you're going to become a percentage. Just like everyone thinks they're the best driver, right? But people get in accidents. It happens. So the same thing. Like you might think that you're untouchable.
I'm not even going to say what
I'm
I was
just
going to say. Sexual acts are not an accident, like a car accident. Like, oops, I accidentally just,
No, but one
fell
thing.
on this.
But one thing leads to another. So it's not an
Yeah.
accident, but it's like,
called
yeah,
self-control,
look,
though.
You're still guilty as charged. I'm not trying to say anyone escapes responsibility for it. I'm just saying that it's like you put yourself in a situation where you make a bad judgment call. That's not.
Yeah,
that's
but
not
I'm
a good
just
plan.
saying in a car accident, someone can hit you and it not be your fault. That's not the case. It takes two to tango.
Look.
It takes two to horizontal mambo. Okay? So,
If I'm on a diet, I'm not going in Krispy Kremes.
I
Okay,
understand.
I can swear to you up and down. I will not
understand.
eat a donut today. But if I stand there and they're like fresh made donuts, the hot sign flashes on, and they're like, "Would you like a free sample?" You know what I'm saying? It's like so.
I understand
I'm
what
just
you're saying
it's
about
like,
not even go there,
yeah,
but
just-
also
what I'm
self-control.
saying. Okay,
Self-control is key.
Well, yeah, but don't test your self control. That's what I'm saying. Is don't
I
test
agree.
it.
I
Like there's no
agree.
need to test it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you think you're stronger than you are, but everyone thinks they're stronger than they are, but they're not. That's what I'm saying. Is like, yeah.
But some
okay.
people are. So
Some
that's
people
all I'm
are,
saying.
but you don't need to find out, do you?
I agree. I agree with that. I agree.
That's right. And someone else that's married to you or is dating you doesn't need to find out either. So that's like, think about it. Or your children too, So yeah. Like
Where have we gone?
where have we gone? Okay. So yeah, so we'll end that. We'll talk about the our relationship thing so that it falls on me. So it was kind of what we were talking about a little bit because we talked we got into some discussions about like falling into the rut of like showing sexual desire and the importance of it to a man, like because again, I think this is just useful that for women to know because I didn't realize that women didn't know this. Is
No.
two things. Is one is that a woman's sexual desire, like I was talking about before, is the most important thing to a man. Period. Right? It's not. Women think maybe it's frequency of sex. It's not. It's the actual enthusiasm. It's the actual desire shown. Right? And then also in the way that which men want that to
that's
be
what
shown.
you need to tell
Right.
because that's what women don't know.
Right. So women, I guess, let's say, men want you to show your depraved self, your sluttiest self to them, right? As like selfishly, right? It's like, I want you to do things to me. I want you to, make me whatever, like we'll try to keep it
Yeah,
not
don't-
too,
You've
but,
already kind of made it
you in your
18
head,
and
like
up
whatever your
video.
depraved, like selfish, sexual desires are in your head. That's what the man wants to hear because he doesn't. It's not that you want to necessarily do things to him. That's great, or that you have sex with him, but it's that. So, and then on the flip side, for the man, obviously, it's the romance, right? It's like because that's what women value the most is that's what shows. Like I guess I would say like a man feels loved by a woman if she shows sexual desire. Like that's the primary way. Whereas a woman feels, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't agree with this, but a woman feels the most loved by a man by the romance that he shows her.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So that's what we talked about. So it was good. But it was interesting
But it's
because
good to check in, and that's what
Yeah.
we were talking about. Is that like because I felt like I was doing the things to make him feel desired, but I wasn't like doing it in this selfish way. Like he just
right, which she was trying to be so
because
good
I'm
because
like
she's so
I don't want to be
unselfish.
selfish,
Right.
You know,
And I'm
like
like,
I don't
nah,
want it
like-
to be all about me.
Right.
Like it's supposed to be about you, so I was trying to like make it
Right.
about you, but you're like, no, that's wrong. Be selfish, and I'm like, what? I'm like this makes no
Yeah.
sense.
But if you watch any porno, then you will understand it because
okay, well, I don't. We
well,
already
okay,
had that
yeah,
conversation.
But any porno is going to be about the woman making the noises and how much she's enjoying it. And right, it's like that's what the focus is whether it's female porn or male porn, it's always still the focus on the woman's enjoyment. So that's why I think that's the thing. Yeah, obviously.
yeah, but I think it's hard as a woman to like because I think women understand that.
Yeah.
But I think they don't understand
To
like
convey.
telling a man what
Right.
they want because that seems selfish.
Right.
And also if you look at some of the comments on our
Yeah.
videos, Guys
Yeah,
are
guys.
so butthurt these
Right.
days. Of
About-
like, why can't you just take care of yourself? Why can't you do this? So like, it
Yeah.
really has
No, that's true.
conditioned
Yeah,
women.
it's true.
And so like,
Yeah.
they feel like they have to do everything on their own or not be too selfish or not ask for too much because it's
Right.
so heavily pushed in all aspects.
Right.
So that's why when we were talking about this and you were like, oh, you really didn't know? I'm like, no. And I
Yeah,
don't
see,
know
that's
any,
what's-
no
yeah.
woman has ever told me what you told me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if some women know and I'm just late to the game
I don't know.
or what, but like, it's just not normal, especially like today with how men act today.
Right. Yeah.
Like they make women feel so bad for wanting things. And
Right.
so we have been conditioned.
Right.
Like a majority of men act that way. So that's like, it's ingrained in us.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And it's, I mean, I guess it's kind of the bomb. I mean, I don't know for sure. That's why I was like surprised that most women don't know that. But I think it's the same way that women don't realize that a man doesn't know, like, again, like the secret for men, okay, if you want to make a woman fall madly in love with you and just be obsessed with you, is to validate her emotions. It's such a simple, is for her to be like, I'm really upset. And then, you know, even if she's upset at you, instead of you saying, I didn't do it, or like whatever.
You're like, don't be upset.
Yeah. Yeah. To just be like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Tell me more. Like, you know, like that's it. Then she's like, now she's just going to melt. Right. So, but it's the secret, right? So, but if we were to flip it and say, women, what's the secret to a guy? Be a depraved, slutty, you know, show him your depraved,
word again.
your selfish, slutty desires. Like, bam, you got the guy. He'll do whatever you want. Now it's like, phew, like he's like, yeah, this chick digs me. She, you know, that's the thing.
This
so
chick digs
yeah,
me.
so that's it. You know, so
right,
yeah,
well.
now we've given both of the secrets. So everybody should be good now, right? They got all the secrets they need. So
Let's hope
that's
so.
good. All right, we'll see you next time then.